So we're going to spend a few minutes now reflecting and remembering the life of this remarkable man. He was a scholar, he was an Ascot villager, he was the founder of our village hall, originally as a reading room, as you've heard. But most of all, probably, he was a man of great courage, great love and humanity. And I think those qualities really have come through on what we've heard about him so far and what we will hear in the future, in the immediate future even. I'm going to hand over now to Simon to start the small battle.
Well, I'm just going to say a brief poem which was written by Siegfried Sassoon, who, as you know, was a very famous World War I poet. And in many ways it encapsulates so many of the emotions that soldiers would have felt in World War I. Because we are going from our wonted places to be task-ridden by one shattering aim, and terror hides in all our laughing faces that had no will to die, no thirst for fame. Hear our last word. In hell we seek for heaven, the agony of wounds shall make us clean, and the failures of our sloth shall be forgiven when silence holds a song that might have been. And what we served remains, superb, unshaken, England, our June of blossom that shines above, disastrous war for whom we have forsaken, ways that were rich and gleeful and filled with love. Thus are we heroes, since we might not choose to live where honour gave us life to lose.
Still silence from our august controllers of destiny. Of course, my dear Dad, I quite understand you don't want me to go abroad, and I don't want to go, for your sake as well as my own. But I cannot contemplate, and I know you will understand at once, being in a soft place of home, while my friends, many of them boys like Eric Smith, say nothing of Ralph, and other village chaps are doing the dirty work. That was part of a letter to his father on the 29th of February 1916. I've had a fairly busy week for 24 hours in the trenches, a royal inspection with a great many preparations, and a day's field firing thrown in for good measure. But today it's wet, and arrangements are in the company commander's hands. Our company commander has got good sense, and he stopped driving us about in the rain, so I've got time for a few letters. Written from Parkhouse Camp on the 6th of May 1916. Tiddy's battalion was sent aboard, as I think we heard this afternoon, in the middle of May 1916. Some words from France. We've returned from a period of instruction in the trenches, about which you will be interested to know is that I am in good spirits and so far unshaken morale. Another extract to his father, a letter to his father. The great event of the last 2 days for me has been the arrival of a considerable parcel of women's clothing. Some of the most intimate nature, from England. Unfortunately, with the name Miss Garvey upon it. I wrote a very touching letter and said that I treated the communication as strictly confidential and could only suppose it had been some kind of mistake. Written on the 23rd of June 1916. I expect you've gathered by now I've been through some adventures since we last wrote. It seems an age, and I expect you'll be wondering about it. I don't feel quite sure how much I ought to tell you, but I'll say this. We were detailed as garrison to hold the original front line, from which an advance would be made, and that we held the line and did the clearing up afterwards. It was fearfully fatiguing and depressing, and unwholesome work. And it got on my nerves a good deal, and a good deal of the men's too, but I won't dwell on it. I'm writing to tell you about the sad loss. Mr. Tiddy was killed by a shell on the 9th of the 10th. He must have died instantly, as he did not look to have suffered much when we got to him. I am his broken-hearted friend, Ralph. He's faced many dangers, and what affected him most of all was the horror of seeing his men wounded and shattered. With a calm courage, but I know too well what it meant to him and how much it would mean for me to tell you about it. That was his Colonel-in-Chief. And to finish, I'll read these short words. He loved peace well in every peaceful art, of books, of friendship, and his countryside. He left them all, but took a peaceful heart. Through scenes of blood till in strange fields he died, and taking that took all. His home was here, but could not bound his friendship to a few. The same humanity we held so dear, he gave and found among his soldiers too. They loved him as we did. He had the skill to smile away rank, shyness and routine. In work, war, charity, remembered still to love the man and laugh at the machine. Peace can but sour with us aged hearts, not at peace. War can wound only hearts, not armoured so. Inviolate then we felt his charm increase. Invulnerable we have seen it go. Those words were published in the Oxford magazine on the 10th of November 1916. Thank you. We now ask Deborah to come forward, who has very kindly taken upon herself to arrange the presentation of a wreath that we're going to lay at the grave.